currently -2 right now. Feels like -5 with the wind. And we got about 7 hours of sunlight left here, so time is of the essence. Welcome to another episode of Alberta Backwoods Adventures. In this episode, we're going back to the fort for another overnighter. It's February the 18th. It's about -5 right now. This is where we say goodbye to the truck and hello to the pack. So it's February now, which means all the bears are gone, which leaves me about 50% at ease walking through here. Still got to worry about all the big cats that like to play in the forest too. Cougar, lynx, bobcat, just to list a few that are here in Alberta. But one of my practices is to check behind me frequently, because a cat will always jump you from behind. I can't say always, but I know for sure they'll attack from behind. Another trick is to look at the treetops. They like to hide up there and drop on you when you least expect it. So half the battle for me is staying hidden. That way I can possibly get the jump on them if I have to. But I tell you, it's hard to look at every tree. It's easy to look behind you though. Walking through here right now, it's quite the challenge. In some places the snow's up to my waist, some places it's only ankle deep. Really makes carrying 50 pounds more of a challenge than it would in the summer. You can see it's not the best managed forest. You got trees laid down everywhere. And deep snow. Half the trick to staying warm in the winter is to manage your sweat as much as possible. But right now, it's only -5. It's not that cold out. It's still pretty warm, so you don't want to be wearing some heavy layers or anything like that. Because once you start to slow down, your sweat will freeze on you, and that'll give you real chills. So right now, all I'm wearing, other than these snow whites I got on, is one thin, moisture-wicking underlayer. That pulls the sweat away from your body, takes it in the fabric. And once I get to camp, I'll be changing into my Gore-Tex suit. That way, I remain dry. Let's get there. Now here's my Remington 870 with the winter job on her. Aside from a few small spots of black, I'd say it's pretty well effective camouflage. Now here's a little hill I like to call the Widowmaker. And she don't look like much, But when you're loaded down with 50 pounds of gear and hiking uphill, she damn near kills me every time. Even my bag's relatively well hidden out here. There she is, well hidden as ever. Glad to see my cabin still here. There she is in the background, just as I left her. Nobody's been here, just the way I like it. A little out of breath from that hill now, need a rest. Here's a look inside, nice and dry, and everything as I left it. Here I am inside, got my firewood, got my stove, everything's good. All I gotta do is get out of the winter whites and get into the Gore-Tex. Also getting unpacked here. You can see I got my survivor pack there, full of food that I don't touch unless it's an emergency. And I'm undoing my pack now. First thing we're gonna do is put up some space blankets here, right near the smoke flap right in front of me there. And what those will do is they're gonna reflect the heat from the fire back at me while I'm laying in bed here. Keep me nice and toasty. I'm gonna do a bit of a gear review as well. You saw my winter whites. I got these boots here. They're old Canadian military Arctic boots. They were replaced by the Mickey Mouse boots. 36 years old, so they're muckluck style, and they're warm as hell. My feet are feeling real good right now. So I'll be changing out of my winter whites here into some redhead hunting socks, which are really, really warm, and my Gore-Tex jacket and pants. Later on this evening I'll be switching to the fleece pants and fleece jacket along with long johns and long top, and I'll be sleeping in those. So I've got my winter whites off now. I got myself a stuff stack. What I'm going to do is stuff those inside, and that creates a pillow for myself at nighttime. So there she is. Nice cushy pillow. Okay guys, I got my Gore-Tex suit on, nice and toasty warm. So what we're going to do now is put those space blankets up. Next thing after that, build something called a Siberian log fire. I'll show you how to do that. And last thing is get some spruce boughs for the bed. We only got 4 hours of daylight left, so we're gonna have to work quick. Alright, let's go. Okay guys, so there's the space blankets up. Smoke flap open. Another space blanket. And over my head, another one. And this will all reflect heat back from the fire down on my body. It's currently 1 degree out today. It's a little bit of a chill in the air. It's supposed to get cold tonight, so we'll keep an eye on that temperature. We will be building a Siberian log fire today. First thing we're going to need is a big round backing log, followed by a couple smaller logs, and then a fuel supply. So we'll start with that big log. This log right here will be perfect for my backing log, and it's even wet, which makes it even better. It's of a decent size. We want that because the fire will be burning against it. So now we're going to take the bow saw and go for a walk. We need to find a couple small round logs to put beside the backing log, and that's what we'll build the fire on top of. So this tree right here is perfect. We'll use that for the bed for the fire. Now we just start cutting. Looks like we got a rabbit in our camp. So these are the first steps to building your Siberian log fire. You want to get yourself a nice big backing log, and then 3 smaller logs butted up. That'll form a bed for the fire. Now we need to find some more logs to pile on top, and some tinder, and we'll show you how it's done. What you want for your top logs is a tree like this one. It's resting up off the ground, and that way it's dry and it's not rotting. So we're going to cut this guy up into some nice firewood. So we'll go back to that comment about managing your sweat and staying warm in the winter. I've taken my Gore-Tex top off and some chopping logs, and she's getting real hot. So starting to sweat on my back, take the jacket off, dry her out. Don't want to freeze. Next step is to take your fire logs and place them over top of the backing log so they cantilever over the bed where you'll be lighting your fire. Next we need tinder, and for that I go to my tinder tree. This guy is going to supply me with tons of fire. I run out there and I got my other tinder tree. I got myself a nice pile of tinder here, but it's more than just tinder. There's something very unique that grows in this forest on this tinder that I want to show you. It's a lichen. It's called Usnea. It grows on every pine tree out here. You can see it's little fibers, little hairs, little stuff that looks like mushrooms. One thing it's really good for is starting a fire. Another thing that Usnea is really good for is medicinal purposes. So it relieves a lot of things. Infection, inflammation, for example. You can use the Usnea tea. You boil it in water, lots of it in water. You drink the tea. It'll get rid of like phlegm and congestion, things like that. Let's say you got yourself a nasty open wound or a spider bite, snake bite, something like that. You take it and you mash it up with like a pumice or a stone, whatever you got handy. You mash it up and make a big paste. That way you can make a poultice or a dressing for your wound, for example. You wrap it right on the infection, right on the infected area, and it will cure. Let me show you how I carry firewood. Take a piece of rope, tie an eye in the end of it, double like that, over and through. Pull it tight. Now you've got yourself an eye. Next, lay her down, pile on your wood. Then, loop her around through the eye. Loop it through the eye, as I have here. Cinch it tight. Away you go. Carry your wood away. The next step is to make kindling wood. Now I had a viewer tell me that I should baton my wood with a knife when I cut it, as opposed to holding it like I used to, all crazy, trying to split it with a hatchet. This works just as good. So next, you pile a whole bunch of tinder on the bed in front of the backing log. See, bed here, backing log, and tinder. Now I'm going to start this thing and I'm going to give it a little help with some fuel tabs, but she'll go fine on her own. Let's There's so much heat coming off this fire right now. You can just see it moving the space blanket. She's a scorcher. You can see how effective this fire it really is. I mean, it's too hot for me even to be inside here right now. I'm gonna step outside. I'm gonna place this thermometer here beside my bed just to see how warm she gets in here. A little bit different out here. It's starting to snow very lightly. Still beautiful out. It's 5:30 now, which means we got about an hour left of sunlight. And I'm just waiting for it to get dark and a little cooler in here before I make my dinner. Fire's been burning for about half an hour now, and she's just a cooker. It's 30 degrees in here. I'm in a t-shirt and actually overdressed. I wore my Gore-Tex suit, and I think regular fatigues would have been just fine right now. I cannot believe how hot it is in here. I'm in well, no shirt. I got my Gore-Tex pants rolled up like shorts. I had to take my boots off because my feet were sweating and the boots were getting wet. And yeah, I just am really impressed with the Siberian log fire. While I'm sitting here waiting for the coals to die down so I can cook my dinner, I think it's probably a great time to do a gear review. We'll start with these guys. Canadian Forces Muckluck Arctic boot. Comes with a felt insole liner, and I've been wearing these things today. It was -5. My feet were dry, my feet were warm, and these things are 36 years old, if you can believe it or not. June 1981, and they're still as effective as they were when they began. On the bottom of those, because it was really crappy walking uphill and stuff, I got these traction aids. They're just chain and little spiky things, and they just slip on over the bottom of your boot, and I would give them a 10 out of 10 for sure. The other thing I'd like to review are these trigger finger gloves here. Leather on the bottom, the canvas material for the finger and the upper, and they also come lined with these wool mitts, and these things have been great. My hands get cold real easy, and they haven't done so today. Some more gear I'd like to review is this Canadian Gore-Tex combat shirt, and it's been super warm for me. It has a Gore-Tex folding hood you can tuck away, and the zippers open up on the armpit. That way you can let some body heat out. It's an overall really good jacket. Kept me very warm today. It would be, I'd say, good down to at least -25, as long as you have a nice cotton underlayer. This jacket's great. It comes with Gore-Tex pants as well. Same thing, very nice. So this fire's been burning for an hour now, and it is just cooking hot. It's died down enough now for me to make dinner, so that's a good thing. One thing I'd say about this fire is that it's too big for a little shelter like this. I should have built it on a smaller scale. So I think that proves its effectiveness. It would be perfect outside, or if you just had a one-sided lean-to. Mine is a double-sided lean-to with a smoke flap in the roof. So yeah, I would build it smaller, but other than that, she's great. Since the fire's ready for dinner, I thought I'd show you what I'm cooking with. I got myself a Austrian mess kit and a American GI cup with a canteen inside. The butterfly wings, they open up, canteen slides out, you got yourself a little cup or a pot. Same with this Austrian one. It comes with a very decently sized cooking vessel with a handle, and then when it's all said and done, you take your canteen that it comes with, slide it inside, take your smaller plastic cooking bowl, cap that on there, take your big, really decent size eating vessel, slide her over top, pinch it down. It's
It's ready to go. Back in the bag. I really enjoy this. I've had it for a long time and it works very well. As does the GI cup. And also the GI can opener. That works very well. It's just a little blade on a tab and you rock it around a can. Then I have of course, a folding spoon and knife that come out. They also have a blade in there and a can opener, and then you can take these two apart. They slide apart and you'll have a separate fork and spoon. So that's what I'm cooking with. What did I bring for food? Well, brought myself a can of chicken, and another can of chicken, and another can of chicken. I'm not going to eat all those tonight, of course. I like to stockpile a couple things that are edible in the back of the cabin, you know, in case I need to come here for a short period of time or a couple days, you know, bug out, whatever. That's why I got that there. I also got a pack of dehydrated soup. That's really good stuff. Again, that's going to stay here, not for tonight. Same as this bag of rice here. You can boil it right inside the bag. Fire her in your little cup. Boil away. Open her up. She's done. That stays here too. So what's for dinner? I got myself some flavored rice and a can of chicken. I got the chicken on the fire, warming up. Now I've taken this bag of rice and I've rolled everything down to the bottom and I'm holding it in position. That way it fits nice inside here. It won't take that much water, so I'll still have some left over to drink. And also, by having it down like that, the fire is not going to melt the bag on me, because that would be terrible. Just cooking dinner. This fire's so hot that even my hands are steaming. And that's just from sweat and being sitting back where it's colder. Crazy, hey? Dinner is ready. Got rice. Nice and hot. Temperature now is -2, 1 hour after sundown, and a little bit of snow on the ground. The temperature inside is +24. And that's with the fire sitting like this. Now, it's about 7:30, I'd say. Yep. So this fire's been burning for 2 hours. And this is where you're at now. The end of a Siberian fire, if that's what you're after. Or what you would do now is pile fresh wood in the bed and then push the top logs into the fire. I'll show you what I mean. So it's been 2 hours and the fire has burned down to this current state here. What you want now is take more logs, pile them in the bed. So you can see I've piled chopped wood into the bed again. And now I'm going to take these back logs here and cantilever them over the backing log. Now you just wait for it to start up again. Get another 2 hours out of that. And then that's all you do. Keep adding wood, keep adding the logs. It doesn't take long. It's been honestly about 1.5 minutes. She's roaring again. For another at least 2 hours, I'd say. Seems to be what we figured out already with this fire. Front view, very impressive. Very warm too. Now here's a view from the back. You can see it starts to burn a little past the backing log, but it definitely doesn't come all the way down to the ends here. I'm sitting on the back side of this fire just as a test, and it's just as hot as the front. This place is like a sweat lodge right now. I imagine if I took the thermometer, it'd be in the 30s again. A fire fit for a king. The Siberian log fire. Very impressive. Definitely not meant for a double lean-to with reflective space blankets for heat retention. If you look at this guy here, it's at the top. Okay, it's probably hotter in here than plus 50. I can't tell because my thermometer is maxed out. This fire is a scorcher, and it'll keep you nice and warm. We talked earlier about managing your sweat during the winter. You want to minimize it as much as possible, that's for sure, because once you stop moving, then the moisture in your clothing turns to frost if it's really cold, or you get the chills nevertheless. So today earlier I was dressed in only moisture wicking layer and the snow whites, and in here in the shelter it's over plus 50, so I'm gonna have to take the clothes off, I think, and be off camp. Hey guys, I really feel like it's a sweat lodge in here with this fire and all. Being over at least plus 60. You see she's maxed right out there. It's over plus 60. I'm sweating away, so I think I'm going to take advantage of this, do some sweating and some meditating. Well, that was very therapeutic. It's still well over plus 50 in here, and I'm loving it. I mean, it's the middle of what is an Alberta winter. Granted, it's a warm night. I'm having a great time. Feeling like I'm in a sauna, staying warm. I'm down to nothing other than this little rag on my head and my boxers. And what an experience. Now, I've just thrown a whole round in the middle there. It's getting close to bedtime. So I'm thinking I'm just going to put some big pieces in there and let them burn. Hopefully she goes for another 4 more hours. It'd be good to get 4 hours of sleep at least. But I'll be happy with whatever I get. And I'll keep the fire going all night if I have to. Let's take a quick view at what I call my survivor bag. Or bug out bag for some people. What we got going on here is a fanny pack or an over the shoulder pack. You can clip it on your backpack, you can clip it over your shoulder, you can clip it on your waist. It's very versatile. And we got pockets. You know, in one pocket I got sesame snaps. That pocket's loaded with those. There's about 4 packs in there. Those are good for you. And inside here, this little pouch with a clip on her, I have tuna times 2. There's 2 cans in there. Got yourself a big front pouch. That's opened up here. We got ourselves a lighter. Fire starting. A bag of rice. Boil in the bag. You boil it in the bag for 10 minutes. You know, submerge it, and then take it out, let it cool. You got yourself rice. Also, 2 cans of sardines that are in there, and that's what fills up this front pouch. Pouch to the left side, I got rice. I'm not going to pull it out. It's just rice. There's 2 packages of rice inside there. And then we have the other side pocket. What's inside there is some fire starting stuff, magnesium and flint, and a folding magnifying glass as well. So we'll see what's inside the main course. There's a lot packed in there. We got fuel tablets. I'm not going to pull it all out. I can tell you what's in here. Paracord, 3 things of dehydrated soup, a folding stove, a box of tinder, some more paracord, maybe something that I don't remember on the bottom. Could be. But basically that's my survivor pack. I take that everywhere I go in the bush, because you never know what might happen where you get yourself into a scenario where you can't find any help and you want to eat and work your way out of it. Some other things I have, aside from the food inside my survival pack, are very important things as well. We got the fuel tabs. You all know how I like those. I keep those because it would be a real survival scenario where you don't want to really struggle with a fire. You just have a lighter and it works. You light those things. There you go. Paracord, of course. That's important to have. And then I have my folding stove. That folds up into a stove and it has a little compartment underneath where you can burn logs or fuel tabs or whatever, and I keep a little bit of birch bark sandwiched in there as a fire starter because we all know that burns very well. Also, I have myself a tinder box. Inside there is some really dry poplar bark, a couple pieces of charred hardwood, and a little bit of tinder, like little sticks, and that's good for starting fires. I keep that in here because when you shave your magnesium rod, you shave it into your tinder box, then you take the shavings, you put it on your tinder, use your flint, make a spark, there she goes. That's what you're supposed to do. Last but not least, we have a poncho. That guy's awesome. You can make a little tarp over yourself to sleep. You can make a tiny bivy tent. You can stay dry out of the rain. You can camouflage yourself. The list goes on. It's a very handy little thing to have. That's what's inside my survival pack. So here's my folding stove with a GI cup on top, birch bark in the bottom. Got yourself a little firebox and a surface and a door on a hinge. That makes up my little survival oven, and it works great. It's been an hour and a half since we rebuilt the fire, and looks like throwing that big section in the middle was a good idea. It's burning away still, there's still tons to go, and a lot of fire. So I think I'm going to go to bed soon. I'll stoke the fire one more time, see where that takes me. So this will be my last round of stoking the fire. Got a little bit of kindling left. We got lots of big sections. So I think I'm going to put some big sections in there, followed by a little bit of kindling. I don't got a poker, but what I do have is this glove and cloth wrapped around my arm, because even though that fire looks small, it is scorching hot. Contact with exposed skin, it hurt. So I wrap myself up, and I would recommend for you to do the same thing. So we had some minor damage to the structure with this raging fire. I mean, I know, come on, right? So yeah, that's melted back, but it's nothing that a little duct tape won't fix. And a big smoke hole in the middle doesn't really bother me, because if I keep going like this, I'm good to go.
4:30 in the morning and it's -10. It's 4:30 in the morning now, and the fire has died down, so I lit that back up. I'm just melting some snow as I'm super parched, and I only brought water to cook with.
What you see here is a red squirrel den. You can tell by all the little holes in the ground and the dead giveaway of all the shucked pine cones where they eat the seeds and then leave them laying around. So that's where you find red squirrels. That was sketchy. Well, our journey has come to an end. I'll be at the truck in no time here. Thank you all for watching. If you like what you see, be sure to subscribe. See you all next time.